Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Monday, the 5th of January, 2015. I wrote that wrong in my notebook, oh no. This is episode 110, Seeing Stars. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. I have a new notebook for the new year. Last episode filled up my old notebook, so this is what it is. It's got stars on it. It's super exciting. I've had this notebook in my my notebook stash. I have a notebook stash for probably close to a decade. It's about time. I used to journal. It's about time I use it. I used to journal every day when I was in high school, like pages and pages, several pages of journals a day. So I went through probably 10 journals in 4 years, and I still kept up with it in college, but at a slower pace. Kind of. I would just write pages and pages when I was in lectures, because that way I could be listening but also doing something else. This was pre-knitting. So I have this huge notebook stash that I haven't been using, because then I graduated from college, got a job, had a child. Time is gone when you have kids. Like, it's much harder for me to sit down and write something than it is for me to sit down and knit something, because it takes totally different types of concentration. Anyway, I love this notebook. Did you have a good New Year? I had a okay New Year. I worked that night, so it was fine. And didn't do anything. I was up when everybody was shooting off fireworks because I was driving home from work. The new year has been pretty good so far. It seems kind of like the old year. Really quick getting it out there. We are not sure what's going on with Steve. He called Friday morning. The doctor was supposed to call him back on Friday and did not. So we're still waiting to hear anything. So that's where that is. Oh, on to the Steampunk Knit Along has started. So if you have finished any steampunk related project from January 1st to now, through February 28th, 2015, finish it in that time period, then it counts. It can be something that you started ages ago. And I am pretty lenient on steampunkness. As long as you can justify it as steampunk, I will accept it. You can get up to 3 entries per project, but go check in the thread for all of that information. And the prizes will be announced shortly. I have a couple ideas, but they're not set yet. I have started my steampunk project, so it's very, very exciting. Very exciting. Ta-da! This is the beginning of my cog in the machine. I started it, and then I just started it a couple days ago, and I didn't work on it at all yesterday. Fail. But I want to show you my stitch markers that I'm using. They're very cute. I have this safety pin on here because it's garter stitch, and I didn't want to forget where the start was, even though it has these tails. Like, that wasn't enough, so I put this little safety pin on here. But these little star stitch markers from Isn't Knit Charming, which is an Etsy shop. So, super cute stitch markers. And it will be exciting later. The yarn is Marigold Jen. It's the sock weight yarn, 25% merino, 25% nylon. Also on Etsy. Look at how pretty that yarn is. I love this color so much. It's the copper patina colorway, which was the color that was dyed specifically for the shawl and sock kit. I think it's super pretty. I love it. The yarn. The pattern's pretty good too. I like the pattern. I love the yarn though. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous because I haven't had a lot of feedback on the pattern itself. Like I haven't had many people knit it, so not a lot of feedback. But I like it. And I'm using US size 4 3.5 millimeter needles for that. Finished objects. I finished the Partying It Up and Getting Down socks by Megan Williams. So here are the 2 socks, and the stripes go in different directions. I did not line up stripes at all. I wasn't worried about that. They go in opposite directions. The yarn is Peyton's Croissant Stripes in Rusty Stripes. And this is the striping pattern minus the colors that got trapped on the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I modified the pattern to have that heel instead of the, it's written with a afterthought heel, but lazy. And I just did an afterthought heel, and I don't love doing afterthought heels. So here are the 2 socks. And the chevrons go in opposite directions. It helps if I show you the fronts of the socks, not the front and the side. So the chevrons go in opposite directions, which is super fun. And these socks knit up so quickly. Peyton's Croy always knits up quickly. It's a little bit thicker of a fingering weight. It's maybe more of a sport weight. It's about 166 yards for 50 grams. So that's 132 yards. 332 yards for 100 grams. So it's thicker. So the socks they zoom because it's less rounds that you have to do to get the length you need. Yeah, I super like these socks, and I wish they were for me, but they are not for me. Unless the recipient doesn't like them, in which case they're going to someone who has bigger feet, in which case I'll just take out the toe of the cuff down one and cut it off early, and then actually just cut off the toe of the toe up one and graft it together. That's my plan. I really feel like the recipient's going to like them, though. It makes me a little sad. I worked on US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. I find with the Peyton's Croy that I can work them on 2s as well and still get a nice fabric. The other project that I finished is the Buffalo Crossing cowl, modified because I used bulky or chunky yarn for it instead of DK as is written for the pattern. So it's an irregular chevron, and I used Loops and Threads Charisma, which is a bulky, and it's 100% acrylic, but it's nice. Like, it doesn't feel squeaky or anything. It's nice. And I used US size 11 8.0 millimeter needles on this. And it is pretty long. So wrapped one time, it goes down past my hoodie, bottom of the hoodie, and then wrapped twice. Oh, let me futz with it so that you're not seeing the inside. I just finished this. It is not Monday right now. I just finished this, but I want to get into the post. So wrapped twice, it sits kind of like that. The colors in this are espresso and electric blue. It's very lovely. It's a good cowl. It's soft and hopefully it'll be warm. So the only other work in progress that I have that I can show you, because I'm still working on two secret Christmas presents, something for Haley of the Knit Two Together podcast, and the blanket squares for Sort of Knitter. So I have more works in progress. A lot of stuff is going on, but you have to wait to see them. I only have one work in... Oh, I have 2. I forgot. 1. I have 1 knitting work in progress to show you. I am making this so cute little hat. Do you see that? This is the Daisy hat from Plymouth Yarn Company, and it's the cat hat with ear flaps. Oh my gosh. I have a nephew who is due around mid to late February. And I said once the new year started, I was going to start making baby things for him. So I've started the first one. The plan right now is a hat, a sweater, a blanket, and a little cocoon thing. So I have started. This is Plymouth Yarn Oh My. It's 100% nylon. And it's color 73, which is really exciting. It comes in a ball like this, and I'm not sure why mine is having all this issue. I don't recall if that's how it was when I first received it or if it has just had children touching it, but you just work it out like that, and it looks like it's around a foam core. I don't know, I've never used this yarn before, but that's my guess as to what it is. So it looks like a lot of yarn, but it's less yarn than it is because there's that foam core. How much yardage does this have? 70 yards for 50 grams. I am just, it's a paid for pattern, so I can't tell you too much, but you start with ear flaps, and then you're supposed to work garter stitch in the round. No, I worked the garter stitch flat, and then there's stockinette. I mean, that's, you can basically see that that's what's going on in that hat, so I don't feel like I'm giving too much away. It's a very, very short pattern. Can you see? This is one page. That's the whole pattern. So hopefully you couldn't read that, but it's very short, very cute, very quick. I started this morning while I was waiting for my tablet to charge so I could show you guys things. And it'll probably be finished tonight, so that would be exciting. And then I will start some other baby things because this month is going to be all, not all, but mostly baby things so that I can have the package out to my sister-in-law by February so it can be there by baby time. My other work in progress is I picked up and spun probably only about 15 minutes on this week, but that's a lot more than I had been spinning on it. So this is Two Sisters String Works. I can't remember and I don't have the tag, but it's linked in the show notes, I'm pretty sure. I should check that. It will be in the show notes if it's not already. So it's this really pretty green color. I don't even remember what the fiber content is because the tag, I normally tie the tag onto the bag, but it might just be stuffed in the bag or it might be my awesome bag that Jerry made me. So the fiber is in here, half of the fiber, and then half of the fiber is in a plastic bag waiting for me to get to it because that couldn't hold all the fiber. So anyway, the tag is in one of those. So I can't tell you the information on it, but it'll be in the show notes. I made a barn raising square. Yay! It's the one I was working on last week, the Cheshire Cat color yarn of awesome prettiness. And that brings me up to 6. Exciting. I also made 2 hexapuffs. It's been a while since I've worked on my Beekeeper's quilt. Cheshire Cat again. And this is yarn from the ZK, I think. That could be incorrect. But I'm pretty sure this is yarn from the ZK. 2014. So that brings me up to, where is it? I wrote it down. 247 hexapuffs. And I think that I'm shooting for 1,000 as a low end for what I need. So I'm getting close to 1/4 of the low end of what I might need. That's exciting, kind of. I plan to delve into that more soon. So on to new things. Are you excited to see more new things? I'm excited to show you new things. I completely forgot last week to show you some patterns that I received for Christmas. So I will show you all 3 patterns. The first one is The Bird's Dead Drew by Lisa Tomko. It's a very beautiful sock pattern with like a leafy lace motif. Lisa also sent me the Halikala, I don't know, by Cookie A, which is so pretty. It's got cables up the front and then ribbing and that little V in the front. It's just, love it so much. It also has information for, you can either do the V or not do the V. Either way. And Josh sent me the Ornette sock pattern from Cookie A. There you go. Oh, it's so pretty. I love Cookie A's stuff so much. I need to knit more Cookie A, I think. I didn't knit very much Cookie A last year. Just the Sam socks, right? I don't know. I don't know why I'm speculating when I'm not going to look it up right now, but those are the patterns. And then more Christmas presents. Lorraine, who is my knitting spinning mentor at Knit Group, made me this project bag, which is awesome. It's got a zipper on the top. It's not lined, but that's fine. And it has a story. So Lorraine had a weaving mentor who she helped to move into an assisted living facility when she got older. And Lorraine and another lady would go and warp her loom every couple weeks, like help take off the fabric that had been made and rewarp it. And they used like not plain yarn to warp, but not fancy. Like these bits, these are the weft. So they would warp it, and I think you can see that the warp is a variegated color. And then the weft is the pink with these blips of color. So they would warp the loom, and then Lorraine's mentor would weave. And she just did straight stitch when she went into assisted living because she was getting old and her hands hurt. And then later on, I believe she had Alzheimer's. So straight weaving, I don't know what that's called, plain weaving. I don't know. I don't weave yet. I probably will someday because I love the idea of weaving. I just don't have the equipment for weaving, and I don't know that I have the space for weaving. And before I get into any of that, I'd rather have a spinning wheel. Anyway, this bag was made from a strip of fabric that Lorraine's mentor made. So it's not just from Lorraine, it's from like, the way I feel about it is like if, it's kind of like if my mom made me a bag from fabric that my grandma had woven. Like that's how I feel about it. That's what this is. So I love it. I haven't started using it yet because I wanted to show you guys first. Also, I'm going to show you a fiber and a yarn combo from Josh so that you can see all the pretties he sent me. This is from Spun Right Round. I love the little cat. This is Superwash Merino, about 4 ounces, and the Jaws colorway. I have been lusting after this colorway from his stash forever. He finally just sent it to me because, let's be serious, I'll spin it before he will. And then he sent me 2 skeins of 716 Knit, the Solo Base, Solo 2, It's 100% superwash merino, about 420 yards. The blue is Dead Guys on Ice, and the orange is Little Miss Stable. And that orange is not showing true. Oh, I think that's butter, like that. That's definitely not, but this is closer to what they look like. So even though orange is not my color, I really like this combination together. And honestly, I won't keep it for myself because how often do I really keep things for myself when I make them? Not super often. What I am reading, Gone with the Wind. So I'm still audiobooking this, but I have this hard copy and I put in a bookmark where I am to show you how far I'm not. I only listen to it when I'm in my car. So when I'm going to work, I only live like 5 minutes away from work on a bad traffic day. Like if I get stopped at the stoplight and have to sit through the stoplight and then there are a lot of people that I have to wait behind, then it's about 5 minutes to work. But I leave my house 30 minutes before I need to go to work because I'm a cashier, so I have to deal with people and I need to like reset after being home with my kids all day. Just like I need to go back to neutral before I go to work. So I leave a half hour before work and then I listen to Gone with the Wind for that half hour and knit. When I'm before Gone with the Wind, I would read and knit at the same time during the summertime when I could actually see, because I go in after it's dark. And that's probably what I'll do once it gets light out again. But I really like audiobooks for that half hour better than the radio because there are commercials and things. So I'm getting through it about a half hour at a time, plus 2 minutes of driving home. And I am still reading Rogue Warrior by Richard Marcinko. He had a phonetic in one of the parts of the book, so I pronounced it incorrectly last week, but I am making decent progress. I am about a third of the way through that. So I'm trying to read a chapter a night after work. It is more difficult because some nights I'm just so tired and I only read a few pages. It's okay. It's not my type of thing. I am much more of a, when I read nonfiction, I'm much more interested in essays or that sort of thing than autobiographies or biographies. I try to read 1 or 2 biographies or autobiographies a year. I don't think I read any last year, but I try to just, just because. Or something historical, like historical nonfiction of some sort. So I'm reading this year, and then I have another biography that I'm going to read right after this. Or I might read the other biography before I finish this because it's a library book and I have to return to the library. It's okay. I'm not loving it. I'm liking it. It's very interesting. I'm learning a lot of stuff about the Navy that I didn't know because I don't know much about the Navy. So that's really cool because I like learning new things a lot. I don't know. I don't love the writing style. It's okay. And I am not reading Maze Runner right now because I had to return it to the library. So I put it back on hold so that I can read it. I didn't get very far in it, but I don't feel like it's something that I need to have sitting on my library shelf, my personal library. So I'll just wait until it comes back on hold for me to watch or read. Stop being so distracting. So last thing, it is the beginning of the year. So New Year's resolutions. Did you do yours from last year? Do you have any from this year? Please let me know. I would love to hear. My resolutions from last year, I did finish my sock yarn blanket. I consider myself to have steeked because I made the Urban Survival, which has cutting and you cut your project open. And it is It's a type of steeking. I don't remember. Josh told me about it. So that's steeked. And if that didn't count enough, I did cut off the toes of the Colorwork socks, the Nightingales, and then picked up stitches and did stuff with it. So I'm counting that as steeked also. So I count steeked as accomplished. I did not end the year with the stash reduction that I thought I was going to, but I mostly attribute that to having a job for the second half of the year, and that taking up a ton of my knitting time. Yay! So I don't feel bad about not accomplishing that one. So this year, a lot of people, I did not make my resolutions on the 31st of December or even the 1st of January. I made them on the 3rd. I have seen a lot of people doing a 15 and 15 resolution on Instagram. So I decided that I would join that bandwagon starting today because it's a Monday and I feel like that's a good day to start things rather than feeling disappointed in myself for not starting on the 1st. I decided today would be the day. So I'm going to attempt this year to do 15 minutes a day of the following things. Spin, write, read, knit, or crochet. That is a thing together. Because sometimes I really get into knitting and sometimes I really get into crocheting and that's all I do. So either or, 15 minutes. Work out. Some sort. It doesn't need to be like heavy working out. Just actively trying to be active and clean. Yay! Like all of those things seem really, really easy. Like I should be able to squeeze them in every day. But sometimes I don't. Especially when I'm tired or just feeling like I just want to stay in bed all day and nothing gets done. At least if I'm trying to do 15 minutes of these things, it's 15 more minutes than I normally would. And then the big one, kind of, the specifically yarny one, is I would like to use 4 skeins of yarn each month from yarn stashed before the beginning of this year. I haven't stashed any yarn since the beginning of this year, but I do know that I'm getting some from Steve. He said that I should be getting a package in the mail this week. I'm excited. And I'm sure that I will buy yarn throughout the year. I mean, I'm going to the ZK, so. And out of those 4 skeins, 2 skeins each month should be from yarn stashed before last year. Just so that I don't have all of these, doop, doop. Which way am I turning my finger at this? Right there. Whatever. You know, that middle shelf right there. Just so that that middle shelf doesn't stay in my stash forever. I already have ideas for some of that yarn to be divvied up for Christmas presents. So I'm going to hopefully tag out a bunch of yarn for Christmas presents this week so that I can just pick up and go and work through stash that way. That's my plan right now. Let me know what your plans are. I think that I'm just to a rambly point now. So I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will see you next week. Bye.